You know, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in media, entertainment, business, sports, reality TV, and so much more. Nick Durst here, along with Joe Calabrese and Joe. We've reached a certain level now within the reality verse because typically I need to reach out to the guests, but the word is out now. And our guest today, she was anxious to come on the show with us after we had a fellow Kelly on the show previously. So tell everybody who we have with us here today. If you're watching in the video, it looks like our guest is like doing a photo shoot here. The wind is blowing her hair with the wind machine.
I feel kind of like famous, like J-Lo, right? Waiting for the
Absolutely.
ride. It's so hot here
Absolutely.
in Arizona.
So let's give you a formal introduction. You are supremely into fitness. You are a Pilates instructor. You are into fashion. We'll say a little bit of a model, a little bit of an entrepreneur. And you were also on season 2 of MILF Manor. So one more time, Kelly Mortensen was our previous guest, not to be confused with our guest today, Kelly Mac. Kelly Mac, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you guys for having me. I am fabulous. It is hot here. I guess that's what they mean when they say you're hot.
Right. Well, I thought
Right?
it was hot because you're doing the recording with us.
Humor is attractive. I love the humor.
Joe's a funny guy.
I'm a very funny
I
guy.
like it. I like it.
So I want to start out because I want to talk about your culture, right? And when you moved to the United States. So you are Vietnamese, correct?
Yes, mom's Vietnamese and dad's Chinese. My last name is Mac. That's Chinese. So yeah.
So when did you move to the when did they move to the United States, or when did you move to the United States?
Well, the story is, I'm going to make it brief so I don't, get everyone, going to the sleep mode. I am the oldest of 4. Then there's a sister, a brother, and a sister. And the first 2, which is myself and my sister, were left behind during the Vietnam War. And it's common that either the paternal or the maternal grandparents take care of you. And my parents supposedly come back to, get the 2 of us, reunite with the 2 of us. But the Vietnam War continued. And then it just exploded on April 30th, 1975, with food in my mouth, an emergency pack, and a routine that we had, practiced for months, went right out the door. And we just left our house to a dock with pirates there, taking advantage of us. And everything we packed, everything was on us, was stripped. And we were given an ultimatum: if you want to get on the boat, you need to give everything up. And at that point, it was my paternal grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my sister and I were in under my grandma's armpits and making sure that we are safe and that we're not lost during the chaos. Food in our mouth, the Viet Congs are coming, it's chaos. And without a blink, she's just like, yeah, take everything. We just want to get on the boat. And they opened her mouth and make sure she didn't hide anything in her mouth, and took her wedding ring, and then off we went and down the Mekong River, drifted into South China Sea for days left to die. Then
Thank you for sharing that. Powerful story so far. Wow.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like it really is a setup for who I am today, and the tenacity that I have, the courage I have, the grace that I extend to people, and the desire to be kind. I want to be remembered this season not as a gross MILF, but grossly kind MILF. That's what I want to be remembered.
And tough as hell. Very, very clearly. Very, very, very obvious.
Very clear.
So let's talk about fun things, right? Let's talk about your business endeavors. Let's talk about the fitness stuff. You are a Pilates instructor. So when did you start focusing on fitness? When did you start getting into Pilates? And how did you start your own regimen routine?
I love talking about this because it is my passion. Obviously, I'm Vietnamese and I do more than nails. Get it? And I'm fully licensed to do from head to toe, left to right, front and back. I practiced that for about 7 years, including being a district manager for Macy's, MAC Cosmetics for 13 stores. But I didn't find that to be satisfying. You know, it's not something that I felt good about. It was stressful. It's corporate. And back in the 70s, I started in 78, right before, the Pilates explosion. Coming to America in 75, didn't speak a word of English, reunited with my biological family, my parents. And then we were taken out of, our comfort zone, which is my grandparents who I grew up with and the aunts and uncle. And just, by my parents from Princeton, New Jersey to California, it added additional stress. By then I was about 13, 14 years old. And, losing the country, not having my immediate family, it was very stressful. And then, at 13, 14 years old, I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? And looking back, it was the Lord's will that I came across a 49-cent book, and I bought it, read it. And this is before VHS, and I would practice it every morning before my family got up. And I felt instant strength in the mind and in the body. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. And so I circled back to it when I was in my 20s. And by 2003, I created my own method. And even then, no one knew what Pilates was. And my method is very, very functional. It's very practical. I educate my clients, the importance of having a strong core, and it's fusion with Joseph Pilates method. And all my clients were either the judges' wives, the mayor's wife, the dentists, the lawyers. I mean, the well-to-do, moms and females that are established. And the fees were not cheap, but they're worth it. And I have great reviews on my website, kellymacmethod.com. And they were like, we don't like to exercise, but we are coming because we love you and we believe in you, and you're addicting and you make us feel special and that we're capable.
That's the Kelly Mac method. Kelly, my back is a mess. I have a messed up spine. I'm constant back pain holding my son. I go to the chiropractor. I've been to physical therapy. It doesn't seem to be helping. Should I try Pilates? Would that potentially help my back?
I would love to give you a free consult once we're done. And
Okay.
that's something I can relate to, because I am now at 97 pounds. When I was filming the show, I was down to 90 pounds. So obviously I don't have an obese situation or a belly situation. However, if your core, most people think the core is just the rectus abdominis. It's actually the rectus spina, the gluteus maximus, the hamstrings, and your hip flexors. So that is a part that most people don't understand. It's my job to explain to clients why we're doing it and how it's connected. And if you notice, I'm not slouching. It's because I've been practicing for a long time. And when I delivered my daughter 28 years ago, I couldn't do a sit-up because, during that time, you can't really, you needed the recovery time. So I get the back pains, and I get that it's important to have a strong core. So it would be a great opportunity to share my knowledge with you and educate you why those areas are important and how we can get you there.
Great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So if anyone else wants to get a consultation, kellymacmethod.com, right? That's where to check it out.
Yes, absolutely.
So how did you end up being contacted and ultimately cast for MILF Manor season 2? Did you watch season 1? Were you aware of the show when you found out about season 2?
This is really hard for people to believe, because I actually been here in America for 49 years, and I've been in Vietnam for the first 11 years of my life. And because of my upbringing, it's very conservative, very traditional. And when we come home, we would not speak a word of English. Thank goodness, because I can speak Vietnamese and Chinese still. So that being said, Grandma used to say, nothing good happens after 9 o'clock and or after dark. So I didn't even know what that means, what that stands for. Now I'm learning that when someone tells you you're a MILF, it's actually a compliment, I guess. And I've never heard of the show. And I'm like, wait, I don't date young boys. And so I was told after, we ended the, filming, so, YouTube it, learn what it's all about. I remember watching it, like I tried twice, and less than 10 minutes, I fell asleep feeling disgusted.
Yeah. Well, nice twist though for your season, having the older men there. So you found somebody, or in the midst of the season right now, they look like you're very compatible. So
Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
how that ends up. For you, what was the biggest surprise about filming the show? What were you really surprised about being on a reality show?
So this is where I like to give back to the writers, the producers, TLC, for the shock factor from previous season, and that kind of oozes over to season 2. This is where I really think that Darren and I was a blindsided blessing, because now we're coined as America's sweetheart, classy Asian, classy mom, and first MILF Manor golden couple. But they all have to watch just to the end to see if we really will be, right? So that being said, I was I was so glad that the writers, the producers, the directors really change it up, because they ran with the first season and then they gave us something more and more and more. And there's so much more. I promise the fans that it's going to be worth them tuning in for the rest of the season. So kudos to the writers, directors, producers.
Yeah, the first season, it was a little weird, ended a little strange. So I was surprised to see season 2. But then when you had the twist where the sons were coming with their parents and the fathers, it was good. It was kind of like the reverse of the season 1, where it was the mothers with their sons. So it worked. So far it seems like it's working out for you.
Right? So far, right? But I think the twist in this season is it's a welcome. It's a welcome. I think they change it up with all the surprises. The fact that they even brought in the dads, you got to give them credit for it. And I went through like several auditions, and it was months before, I got the call back. And, looking back, they knew what they were doing, because if they left it the way it was, I don't know if I would still be there. I would have volunteered to leave, but they knew what they were doing. And I remember them, they did a lot of, there were cameras everywhere, 24/7, and they knew who I am when they casted me. I am not a player. And they purposely, casted the oldest woman there, right? And I'm very, very transparent. And I remember the cameras were all on all of us, and my reaction was not anything but. And then when the dads show up, I'm like, and they're like, yes, we got kellymac back. So
yeah,
kudos to
what
them.
was it like living in a house with all those people? I'm sure a lot of slobs in there, didn't clean up after themselves, and I mean, sharing a bathroom is pretty gross. So what was that like for you?
I really like these questions, by the way. I take pride in myself. And so Lynette and I were roommates, and it was a huge house, and they knew which one was Kelly's room, and they knew which one was Kelly's bed, because there were scenes that it's from the previous episodes. If you watch back, you see that all my suitcases are always neat, nothing's out of place, and my bed was always made. And they called it the peace room. I don't like chaos. And I would get up every morning, and I would do Pilates and yoga and meditate before I go downstairs and make my famous kellymac smoothies.
Gotta
We'll
ask.
talk about those. Yeah.
What's your favorite kellymac's smoothie ingredients?
Well, it started, I would come down and, and I was like, okay, what's in the kitchen? And I'm very creative. I like to create things. I like to be in the kitchen, even though I'm not a professional cook. So, and I'm very mindful of what I put in the body because that's a big part of being fit, right? So whatever's in the kitchen, I would create a delicious smoothie. My favorite and most of everyone's favorite was the spinach protein date smoothie. Delicious. I just had one this afternoon. And yeah, I can create any smoothie, and they were all blown away because there's several fitness people on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And they see what I'm doing,
Right.
and it's
Joe, what's your go-to smoothie? I'd probably go peanut butter and banana with some chocolate protein powder.
yeah.
I enjoy stuff related to fruits. So it's like strawberries, bananas, mangoes, all that.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I always have in my kitchen frozen vegetables and frozen fruits, and I usually use fresh fruit if I know that I'm going to eat it right away. That's in season. But other than that, I have my basic blueberries, my tropical fruits, my peaches, and stuff like that, and vegan protein, and to sweeten it. I like to shop like local farmers market and support the local businesses.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. In Arizona, it's very, very hot out there. So how's the farmers market situation out there? They get like fresh produce and stuff.
Yeah, so you have to try to get it before like 11, because it gets really, really hot. And so I get really, really like local good, honey, a dash of honey. We know that's very, very healing, has antibiotics, and natural antibiotics, right? Healing. And I have turmeric in my smoothies. I think of food as medicine. And I asked myself, look, you just spend 30 minutes tearing down your muscles. You're not going to just, waste all that time.
Absolutely. The body is a temple.
Yeah, and the summer has the best fruit. I mean, when you get a good piece of watermelon, a nice peach, nectarine, or plum, I mean, you can't get that great fruit outside of the summer.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And people always ask me like, Kelly, are we not supposed to be eating a lot of sugar? Well, there's a difference between fructose, sucrose versus natural sugars. So, you just have to learn. Education is key. Knowledge is power. So don't shy away from what God's given us. Natural foods.
Really, really good stuff so far. Thank you for lightening us,
I love it.
especially with the honey line. Honey is incredibly good for you, very healthy for you. It's not pushed enough. There's certain reasons why certain things aren't pushed enough. I'm not going to get into that.
Big spoon of honey in my tea, stir it up.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
I would recommend you guys doing just a teaspoon. My grandma used to just put a little bit in our mouth. And then like I would do ginger shots. I do my own ginger shot and cayenne pepper and a little bit of honey and hot water every morning.
Very, very good. Listen, Nick, I think we have to get on the Kelly Mac method pretty soon.
I think so.
They're like,
you're turning
what
us,
are you
gotta get his beach bum.
Turning us
they're
into
like,
believers.
Kelly, are you like, do you drink a lot of caffeine? I'm like, no, I'm just naturally high on life.
Well, when you take care of yourself, that's, again, take care of what goes in, get the proper amount of sunlight, keep your energy levels up, and you don't have to worry about anything. That's the truth.
Right. That's right.
They don't want us healthy. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your Instagram and on your other social media followings, because we can find you on Instagram and TikTok, kellymacmethod. How did your social media following change after you're on the show? Obviously, there's been an increase, but explain that.
Well, I think that being honest and staying true to me, and my following has been following me for quite some time, and they're very, very supportive, and they know me by now. And so that being said, and being on a very big network helped. I think that there's a silver lining in everything. Take it from someone that almost died out in South China Sea. And I always say that with such emotions for the Lord. And that is, tomorrow's not promised. I survived this for a big reason, and that is to talk about the Lord and to share my journey and to inspire, to be kind, and to take advantage of my beautiful country, and look for the good. And yes, if I knew about the show, I would have not. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. And for that, I'm very, very grateful, because I got free exposure to show what I love. And I was in a lot of bikinis, and I was about to launch my own bikinis. And, even the cast, moms are like, oh my gosh, you have a body of a 20-year-old and I don't have any stretch marks.
Let's talk about the
amazing.
bikini line. Let's talk about the bikini line. Let's go into detail about it.
Yes. So this is a couple of
There we
mini
go.
designs that I came up with. I wanted something classy that's not in your face. I wanted to target moms that have style and feel good about wearing it. And that doesn't look like a mommy bikini, and that they can feel fabulous in it.
What's
And
what's the process to get these manufactured and
well,
designed?
guess what? I went home to support my own country, obviously, the birth country, that is. And so these are manufactured back in Asia. This is a full circle here. I came to the land of opportunities. I brought it back to the land of birth. Then I'm bringing it back to my new country to share my passion, and it's affordable. During the soft launch, it's going to be $79 for the entire set. I love bikinis. Life is better in a kellymac bikini. So the top and bottom normally would be like $200, $300, but during this soft launch, it's going to be $79 for the entire set. And after that, it's under $100, people. You're not going to get that anywhere. The colors, the style, the classiness. And the white one that I wore for my first photo shoot that is on Instagram is now back ordered, because everybody wants that one that Kelly wore. So grateful. They're like, gosh, Kelly, that looks amazing. It looks, we like the light color. We like the way it's made. It's very well made. And you rocked in it. And so I'm so excited to announce to my fans in America that particular bikini is now on back order.
Congrats on everything. What material is it made out of?
Well, depending on this one. Well, this one here has a little lining, and the pads are removable, and the lace is a sheer lace, and it is I think this one here is polyester and elastic.
Okay.
Very, very, very comfortable, I promise you. I actually wore this in one of the shots. And so the next post, I promise you that I show me wearing this one, it probably will go on back order too.
Well, listen, Kelly,
Yes.
we're always open for business. Maybe the Kelly Mac bikinis could be our signature sponsor here on the podcast.
That's right. That's right. And if you have a significant other, I would love to treat your significant other with a Kelly Mac bikini, as long as they post it and help promote it.
Well, one of us has a significant other.
That's me.
I'll be happy to do that for you. Small gesture of kindness.
You're amazing. Unbelievable.
From
I
my
have to
heart
ask. So we have a fan question for you.
Sure.
Our friend Jordan, he wanted to ask you, what would be your ideal first date?
All right. Well, that's a really good question, because I've been taken to wineries. I've been flown to Chicago. I've been flown to Paris. I've been flown to incredible places. And I can't wait to write my biography, because the reader will want to read about this immigrant from boat to the land of opportunities. And it is to inspire and remind you that each one of us have our own calling and blessing, and never to give up. So the answer to that question is you have to be creative. You have to be creative, because I'm not a granola person, and that doesn't mean I'm better than anybody. I'm never arrogant. Is not attractive to me, for me to anyone and anyone to me. So stay humble and kind. And so I love, being creative, and being thoughtful will touch my heart.
And a little humor can go a long way.
Yes.
As we heard.
Yes, even if you have to laugh at Kelly Mac, it's okay. I didn't know what MILF means. I didn't know what sexing means. And I didn't know some of the moves that were taught to me. And so life is an adventure.
Would you consider more adventures in the future of going on other reality TV shows? Is that something you'd be open to?
That's a really good question at this point, because of everything going on. I would like to see this through, and I would like to just have America wearing a Kelly Mac bikini, and be excited about it. But I do feel it. I do feel there. You'll see more of me. I'm not done. I'm not done. I've actually have a Kelly Mac. I have my own fitness gear. And I even have my own hashtag. And we know about the Nike slogan, right? Just do it. Okay, so let me just show you this. Can you see this?
Oh, yes.
Just Mac.
Just Mac. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That came up. My fans came up. They're like, why don't you just Mac it? There you go. So I have my own fitness gear.
That's really, really, really clever. Awesome. So I always ask this question because throughout the course of since we started the show, we ask this question periodically. I tend to be interested in the deeper side of life, the spiritual side of life. As you can see, I don't know if you can see it. I have my cross on. So Kelly, you and I, we speak similar languages. But I'm also very much into astrology. So so we have to ask what your zodiac sign is.
You want to guess before I tell you?
Sure.
Just take a guess.
Leo.
Woo! The funny thing is, I came to America without a word of English, so I was really shy.
You know how I knew that? Wait, you know how I knew that?
How did you know that?
Because Leo people have the best hair. My mom's a Leo. That's the truth.
That's impressive, Joe. That's
think of a lion.
That's
lion.
Really, yes, right.
Leo suns and Leo risings. If your Leo's on the ascendant, you have amazing hair. It's just a guarantee.
Oh, yeah, that was a very impressive guess for sure. But when I was growing up, like, I didn't want to be seen. I want to be heard because of our culture. You do as I tell you. You don't speak back. And so that's how I grew up, an introvert. But now when I tell people I was shy, or I'm kind of, reserved at times, they're like, you, Kelly, we know when you're in the room without you saying anything. Yeah. Great guess.
Good job, Joe. So Kelly, in your life or your career or your business, what would you say is your right moment? What I mean by that, it's a time or place where you wanted to pursue something and you asked somebody for advice. They told you, Kelly, that's a bad idea. Don't do that. And you said to them, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And in the end, you will see why it is that I'm right about this. So basically, your I told you so moment.
It's basically her whole life, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I do believe that the more negative reaction is the more that I am fueled to continue to do what I am focused, that the Lord has in my bosom that I need to pursue. So that's how I kind of gauge when people try to talk you out of it, is when I know I'm onto something, or when someone is envious of you, or someone, and all you've been is kind, and they're envious of you, or they try to mimic you, or you just know that like Jesus, right? I never read the Bible, but what little I know, I tried to live it. And I do believe that he died for us, and that, why was he such a threat? It's because he knows the truth. And, so when someone tells me, Kelly, go do nails, you're good with hair and makeup. What are you thinking? You're almost 60 years old and you're going to do this? That's when I know. That's when I know I'm on to something that's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Kelly, you have an incredible amount of energy, and Nick and I, we really, really enjoyed having you on. We appreciated your time. We wish you the best of luck with everything moving forward. We hope that you are on more reality TV shows, and you expand, after MILF Manor. Just
Kelly,
total treat
we
delight.
want you on Big Brother. That would be a great show for you.
I
can
think
walk
it
Really?
in
would.
a bikini
Yeah.
all day.
Watched it. So someone said, Kelly, you should be on Golden Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Yeah.
You might not need to, though. You might have found love on MILF Manor.
Right.
I don't think you
Who
need to.
knows?
Right? And then someone else said something about Love Island or something
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
Yeah, another dating show. Yeah, Big Brother.
Yeah.
Big Brother's not a dating show, so.
Oh, really? It's not a dating show. Got
No.
you. Got you. You know
It's a
what I like to
competition
do?
show. Yep.
I see. You guys know that I was on the Food Network, right?
No, I didn't know.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Interesting.
being in the kitchen. I like to create things.
Maybe you should go on America's Got Talent and you could do like an act where you sing and cook while wearing your bikini line. Wouldn't that be so
Oh,
much
I
fun?
like that. That's got
Some potential.
that's a lot of nerves, huh? Like trying to,
She's
look
not a
good
triple
and
threat.
stuff.
She's like a quadruple threat.
Right.
Yep. The Kelly Mac
Yeah.
method. Kelly, we appreciated your time. So what we do here is we always give our guests the last words. But a lot of your story and the spiritual things that you believe in and kind of everything that you're just doing business-wise left and right. We've had a lot of good stuff that you've talked about throughout the episode. So if there's anything else you would like to share or promote, you can find Kelly at kellymacmethod. But if there's anything else you would like to share, by all means, go ahead. Again, we appreciate your time. And thanks again for doing this with us.
I would just like to take this second to give it back to the Lord, to my family, to my loyal fans, and most importantly, why I even breathe is my daughter. My daughter, Michelle, she's everything to me. And it's why I stood my boundaries, and I wouldn't change a thing on this season because I represented me the best that I could. And she is proud of Mom.
Very well said. We hope Michelle's watching and enjoyed this episode. Kelly,
As she should be.
you should, yeah.
Thank you.
Kelly, we
Thank you.
definitely enjoyed having you on. This was a blast. Thank you so much for your time. We'll reconnect again. Maybe Joe and I will come on your show on your Instagram feed and work something out. But
I would love that.
We're gonna make it happen. Then this has been great. Everybody, go check out the Kelly Mac method. Of course, she's on TLC's MILF Manor season 2. Go check out her swimwear. Kelly Mac, she's got a lot going on, but that's the method for Kelly Mac. So it's all right there. And that's going to do it here for this episode of You Know I'm Right. For our special guest, Kelly Mac, for my co-host, Joe Calabrese. I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.